Hi, this is Bo Birchfield, and this is my MUX project video, process designing an app. We're going to go ahead and get started, and I'll show you what I got. Okay, so this is the application for Matt's Supply Store. Um, I basically drew this all up in Illustrator. So first and foremost, of course, you go through your sign-in page and everything. If you don't have an account, I went ahead and just set up a regular sign-up thing just to show you that you can decide on residential user, commercial user, large business user, as I had detailed in last week's project. Also, right here, this will probably just give you information. There will probably be one next to each user type, just to tell you what the benefits of that would be. Also, there would probably be a little disclaimer that you could change that at any time. Anyway, once you sign up, of course, you go back here. You sign in, and you go over here. Now, of course, I'd like to mention that there would be some, about us, contact us, and things like that. Locations, in the context for each location. I think that's important for any online storefront, so that would be included in the application. But considering that's pretty easy to get through, and pretty much all of those would be relatively the same. I'm not going to really touch on those. Anyway, you get to the front page here, and you have featured items, just items that are related to your previous purchases, items that are on sale, things like that. At the same time, I didn't really put this in here, but you would probably have a menu up here that allows you to look through items in different, um, you know, sections, like whether it be paper products, whether it be um, office furniture, or anything like that, electronic equipment, things like that. But you basically have table views of items. You can search for, for the various items that you might be looking for. Pretty much any of the inventory that the company has. It would also show you, the image and the names of the items, price per item, and then it would show you prices at the different points. If you were to buy in bulk, you would get cheaper items. This would be the same for all users at this point. It would show you that as a residential user, even if you weren't interested, you would still see that you could save money by buying in bulk, just in case a residential user might need 300 sheets of, or 300 packs of paper for some reason rather than three. Um, Also, you would probably see some things on here like, amount in stock, or if the store has it in stock, or the locations have it in stock. If not, it might say, that that it might be a delay in the order, that it would have to come from their supplier. Um, Over here, once you've added things by clicking them and clicking add to cart, you would have your cart. Users, once clicking here, you'd have a pop-up that says add to cart, and you could list your quantities. But later you would be able to change that. Over here, you'd have the item, you'd have the price points again, and this is probably where you would also select your quantities. You'd have a section where you could delete, the items and whatnot, and you have the descriptions, everything. Now this window would be for residential users. They would have um, the item names and prices of things related to their purchases. Um, that way, you're getting some suggestive selling from users who may very well only purchase one time through the store. It's just a way to possibly increase the sales of the company. Then it's going to send to the user and the user's account location in the way that they set it up, um, and you're able to change that right there. Then you have finalize the order. That's where you'll be brought to the payment. That'll pretty much be the same for all three accounts. So I didn't really get into that. Let's go down here to the commercial user, people who have, a small chain, things like that. they would have their cart in the same way. It would still show the same things, but here they would be able to select their quantities, and see their price point, select their quantities, and it would show them down here the amount that they saved from buying in their bulk. So if they selected one, they would most likely see $0, and then here the added total saved from all of these items, and of course you can change the quantity right here. So that can be a little different if quantity could be changed up here. It could just show you the amount saved from bulk purchase and show you how many more to go to the next tier of that. But pretty much, there's actually a thousand different ways you could do it, but I think that this one's a clean way to do it, and it wouldn't be too terribly bad to do it this way. And then you finalize the order, which brings you to payment. Pretty much the same thing. And finally, the large business people would have the same thing. That's their cart. But here, they could select that it would be a one-time purchase. They would still see their price points, and the fact that they could, they would still affect the quantity here. But they could select that it would be a one-time purchase. And if they wouldn't like a one-time purchase, then they can select it for recurring payment. So they could select their inventory minimum. So if they wanted 50 packs of paper at the office at all times, they would put it here, and then they could have the company check for refills every month, every quarter, or custom. Now, I was thinking about how this would be done, and really I don't think that this completely encompasses all of that, because they would have to report their refills if it were to check here, because it would check within the app. However, I don't think that every company would be able to do that. I think rather they would probably have to have another item, which would be a serviceman from Matt's Supply Store come out and check their inventory for them. I know a lot of companies do something like that. Fastenal, which is a fastener company that sells nuts and bolts and things like that, for example, they do that. So I think that this could be quite different. However, if it could be set up this way, and the app could just remind them, hey, we need inventory for this because we need to check now, and then they can provide their own custom. I don't know if you can see that custom time increment to check. Anyway, once they're done, they can go ahead and finalize, and it's all over. So I think that this little setup here is a really good way to tackle 3 different groups of users' needs. I think that a residential user who may very well be in the store for a one-time purchase has quite different needs than a person who owns a large store, wants to buy locally, from somewhere like Matt's Supply Store or a large company, and they need someone to be on them at all times about keeping their inventory up. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Like I said, there are probably a lot of changes in the design that need to be done. There are some things that could be different, but without really getting into into the specifics, this is how it would go. I think that I would that any prototype that I would make past this would have pros and cons as far as what the user would like and what they wouldn't. And some things would be unnecessary and some things wouldn't. It would just all depend on the user's wishes. So that's my project, and I really have enjoyed this week. Thank you very much. Have a good day.